My best friend lied and turned everyone against me. 10 years later, she showed up at my office begging for help. I had the same friend group from middle school through college. 5 girls who did everything together. Sleepovers, prom, spring breaks, graduation. Vanessa was our ringleader. Whatever she said, everyone followed. I thought we'd be friends forever. Senior year of college, Vanessa started dating a guy named Drew. He seemed fine at first, but something about him made me uncomfortable. He stared too long, stood too close, made comments that felt like tests. I kept my distance and kept my mouth shut because Vanessa was happy. One night at a house party, I went to find the bathroom and Drew cornered me in the hallway. He pushed me against the wall and tried to kiss me. I shoved him off and told him to stay away from me. He laughed and said, "Who's going to believe you?" I left the party without telling anyone. The next day, Vanessa called me screaming. Drew had gotten to her first. He told her I came on to him and wouldn't take no for an answer. He said I'd been flirting with him for months and finally made my move. I tried to explain what really happened. I told her he cornered me. I told her I pushed him away. I told her he was lying to cover himself. Vanessa went quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "I've known Drew for 2 years. I've known you for 10, and I believe him." I felt like the ground dropped out from under me. I said, "You've known me for 10 years and you believe him?" She said, "He has no reason to lie. You've always been jealous of my relationships." She hung up before I could respond. One by one, the other girls sided with Vanessa. My texts went unanswered. I was blocked on everything. When I showed up to our regular brunch spot, they all got up and left without a word. I was uninvited from our graduation dinner. 10 years of friendship erased in a week because a guy I rejected told a better story than I did. I graduated alone. I moved to a new city where I didn't know anyone. I started from nothing with an entry-level job, a tiny apartment, and 0 friends. The loneliness almost broke me, but I kept showing up. I worked harder than anyone else in the office. I got promoted once, then again, then again. By 28, I had saved enough to start my own marketing firm. It was just me and a laptop in a coffee shop at first. Then I got my first client, then my 5th, then my 20th. The firm exploded. By 32, I had 40 employees and clients across the country. I built a new life with real friends who actually showed up for me. People who asked questions before making judgments. People who had my back even when it was inconvenient. I didn't think about Vanessa anymore. She was a closed chapter. Then one afternoon, my assistant knocked on my door. She said there was a woman in the lobby who wouldn't leave. She said she was an old friend and it was urgent. I walked out and there she was. Vanessa looked exhausted. Her hair was unwashed and her clothes were wrinkled and she had dark circles under her eyes. She stood up when she saw me and her eyes filled with tears. She said, "I know I don't deserve to be here, but I didn't know where else to go." I didn't say anything. I just waited. She told me Drew left her 3 years into their marriage. He ran off with another woman and cleaned out their accounts. She lost her job because she couldn't focus. Lost her apartment because she couldn't pay rent. She had a 7-year-old daughter now and they were staying with her mother in a 1-bedroom apartment. She said, "I need help just until I get back on my feet. You were always the strongest one of us." I said, "The strongest one? You told everyone I was a liar. You made me lose every friend I had." She started crying harder. She said, "I know, I was wrong." Drew admitted everything after he left. He told me he lied about you to cover himself. He thought it was funny. I felt something cold settle in my chest. I said, "So you've known the truth for 3 years, and you're only here now because you need something." She said, "I was too ashamed to reach out before." I said, "You weren't ashamed. You just didn't need me yet." The lobby went silent. My assistant pretended to look at her computer. Vanessa wiped her face with her sleeve. I asked about her daughter. Her face softened and she pulled out her phone to show me a photo. A little girl with curly hair and a gap-toothed smile. Her name was Caitlin. I said, "I'll pay for your daughter's school, tuition, supplies, whatever she needs." But that's it. Only her. Vanessa's face crumpled. She said, "What about me? I have nothing." I said, "You had me. For 10 years you had me. And you threw me away over a lie you didn't even bother to question." She said, "I made a mistake." I said, "You made a choice. Now I'm making mine." Caitlin is in 8th grade now and on the honor roll. She calls me Auntie and Vanessa and I don't speak.